Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Future Stars Live on Hidayat TV. I'm your host Hassan Shah, and today we are talking about like an introduction to Tawheed, and we're going to be talking about the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the belief in the oneness of God as well. So before I continue, I'd like to introduce my guests.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Mohsin.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Misbah.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Hussain.
Thank you for the introduction, and like we do on every show, Misbah is reading the surah and Mohsin reading the translation. So can we start them off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Tabat yada abi lahabin wa tab. ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد صدق الله العلي العظيم.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the path of Abu Lahab will perish and he will perish. His wealth and gates will not exempt him. He will be plunged in flaming fire, and his wife's sword carrier will have upon her neck a haunter of palm fibre. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Thank you, Mohsin and Misbah. And remember, whenever you are reading a surah, make sure you read the translation as well, because it is very important to know the history behind it and how you can also implement it into your life as well. So what's our topic today?
Tawheed.
Yeah. So what is Tawheed?
The oneness of God.
The oneness of God.
Yeah, the oneness of God. And what is Tawheed in?
The
Rasul-e-Din. So what's the Rasul-e-Din? The roots of the religion, and you really need them. So the most important thing, and the thing that is most emphasized in the Quran, and where all in all how the prophets teach, is Tawheed, the oneness of God. And don't you think?
Yeah,
that's the most important belief in Islam, isn't it? That the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He has no partners, and that He is the only God. There's no more than one God. He doesn't have a son, He doesn't have a mother, a father, or a sister, or something like that. He's only there by Himself, and He will always be there. And He is in Himself. He needs no one else, if you understand what I mean. Yeah. So we'll be going more in detail about this, and we'll be talking about the existence of God as well. So can we start Mohsin off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
Before believing in any roots of religion, a believer should have strong faith in the existence of God. It is not enough to believe in God because it is what most people do, or it is what has always been taught and believed by those around us. Each human being has to know for him/herself the reasons behind the belief in God. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Thank you, Mohsin. So Mohsin was mentioning that it's just not enough for ourselves just to believe in God. We have to know, we have to understand this our belief in God as well, because many people who are atheists, they might come up to us and ask us, "Oh, why do you believe in God?" And would some people know the answer to that? No, because some people, they're just brought up to believe in God, which is really good, isn't it? That is really good. But one important thing that we need to teach them is why do we believe in God as well? That's a really important thing that we do need to teach. So thank you, Mohsin, for talking about that. So Hussein, you've got the next thing, so can we start off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
Before we learn about the ways of knowing that there is a God, the first question we must answer is why should we even bother with that? Is it necessary to know whether God exists or not? Would not life be much simpler if we did not ask this question in the first place? To answer that, think of the following points. 1. Search for the truth. It is a natural instinct to search for truth. At some point in life, most people ask themselves basic questions such as how they came upon the earth, who brought them here, what will be the ultimate end, etc. These questions need answers and cannot be ignored by suppression. Human beings, especially those who are curious and intelligent, need to answer these questions in order to satisfy for their search for the truth. To thank the provider of blessings, good etiquettes demand that we thank all those who carry out favors for us, whether big or small. The more the favor, the more the appreciation and gratitude should be. Take an example of a person who stays as a guest at someone's home. All preparations have been carried out to meet his needs. He has a room ready for him, food on the table, clothes washed and dried, etc. Would he not want to thank the person who did this for him? Good manners dictate that he should show his gratitude for the favors received by him by thanking the host. If he does not know who the host is, he should make an effort to find out. To ignore that and just enjoy the benefits would be considered ill-mannered and rude. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Alright, thank you, Hussein. So Hussein was talking about there that like how we can actually it's kind of like why do we actually believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and why it is an important question to know this belief. Is there a God? Is Allah real? So Hussein was saying there that some people might say, what would some people might say? That it's not important.
It's not important.
Yeah, it's not important to ask this question. So why would we need to know this? Because Hussein gave like this this imagery that he was talking about. He was talking about that if we go to like some place like a house, I'll change it up like a kind of house party or something like that, and then someone's invited us to this house party, and we don't know who the host is, and then we take all the benefits from the house party. We have all the food, we have everything like that, but we don't find out who the host is, and we don't thank them. Would that be ignorant?
Yeah,
it would be really ignorant as well. And if especially if this so now we're going to put it in like our lives now. So especially if God has set out these rules for us to follow, and we don't follow them, and he's actually, if God is actually real, and we don't ask this question, we don't find out why would he be real and things like that, how could he be real, and has he sent down any books, any guidance for us? If we don't ask this question, then at the end of the day, if he is real, what would happen? We'll get
punished.
Yeah, punished. So this is what Hussein was talking about, that is really important to do as well. So what have we gone through so far? That
the existence of God, and to thank the host.
Yeah, it's kind of like why he mostly gave like an introduction saying that how we should actually know, and we're gonna go through those points now, how we should actually know about the existence of God, and why do we actually believe in God, and not only just to be brought up, just to know why we actually believe in this. And Hussein talking about that we need to why do we need to ask these questions as well. So Mohsin, you've got the next thing as well, so can we start Mohsin off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
When we come into this world, we see that there are a lot of blessings and favors that have been prepared for us. We have a wonderful body, family, home, beautiful earth, trees, fruits, flowers, animals, and numerous other blessings, of which all are there for our use and benefit. Surely we need to ask who these blessings came from in order to thank the provider. It would be most ungracious if there really was a provider and we did not bother to find out and ask him. Thank him. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Thank you, Mohsin. So Mohsin now brought up another point saying how giving more importance to the fact why we should ask this question as well, saying that he's given all these bounties and things to us, that we should actually thank him for this as well. So do any of you know can any one of you give like a point to if someone came up to you and said, why do you believe in God, why do you believe in God, like what would you answer to that? Any points?
One point could be that you'd raised up in that way.
One, would they accept that as an answer? They're going to ask you, why do you believe in God? Because no one, we know that no one can say there's definitely no God, or no one can say that even though we believe there is definitely, we believe fully 100% that there is a God, we can't bring like kind of, you know how scientifically like saying there is definite, no one can definitely disprove it, and no one can definitely like fully prove there is a God as well. Do you believe that? Yeah. So but what we can do is bring our reasons why we actually believe as well, and they bring their reasons why they don't believe as well. So what would be one valid reason of why would we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Misbah?
Because he's the one that created us, he's the one that provided us with everything that we have.
Yeah, but would that actually be a valid point? Why they come up, they're gonna say, why do you believe in God? They're gonna ask you that. So what would you be your answer to that?
Because you can give some evidence for some of your points, like say that the Quran, it was revealed down and to our holy Prophet Muhammad, and it says there's one thing saying about how it was with Prophet Moses, and how he made the sea separate, and how the man who was chasing him at the time, his body was found in a
so I know where he's going with that point now. He's talking about because there's some miracles in the Quran, isn't there? There's scientific miracles as well, and there also is historical miracles as well, which he's going into. So yes, so Hussein's got one point that is really good, that we could use the Quran as evidence for the proof of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So not many people know this, that we can actually use the Quran as proof for God, especially for like our God. We can use proof like the Quran, and Hussein was going into this, you know, in the time of Moses, you know, Pharaoh. Yeah, and he was coming to get Moses, and Moses was taking the Bani Israel and taking them, and he actually parted the sea. Do you know that? And he put his stick down, and then by the power of Allah, the sea parted, and then they went through the sea, and then the sea closed up again, and then Pharaoh was actually drowned, didn't he? Yeah, Pharaoh, he actually drowned in that, didn't he? Yeah, and then the Quran says that we preserved his body and made it an example to mankind. The Quran is saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that we preserved Pharaoh's body, and we made it as an example to mankind. And have anyone found Pharaoh's body?
Yeah.
Yes, that is right. And Pharaoh's body actually had been found I don't know which museum it is, but it's in one of the museums.
I think it's in one of the museums in Canada, I think.
It's a really famous one though.
Yeah. So but he's in a museum, and people has seen the body of Pharaoh as well. So this is one of the proofs one that you can bring up. Is there any other proofs? Any other proofs? So we've gone over the Quran. The Quran is really one good proof. And
the crack in the Kaaba.
the crack in the Kaaba. That's actually not exactly something that you'll bring up for that, would they?
Yeah, but
nearly there. Just look around, like on the earth. What would be a good argument for the earth, like the creation?
Oh.
Any of you know the creation argument?
Some people say that they don't believe in God because they don't because people say that
we're talking about proof for God.
Proof for God is like you can't make something. You can't. There has to be something.
So most is going there because everything that has been created, especially by humans, had a what? Creator. Yeah, creator. So to think about all the complexity of this world and all the laws in this world is how could even toilet paper and other things as well have they had a creator?
Yeah.
Those simple things have had a creator, but the creator for all this world and all this order in this world, and people say that it's all by accident. But most things have had most things, especially something like this, has had a creator, and needs actually a creator to start this up, hasn't it? Because even if you go zero, it's really simple, because nothing, you can't make anything out of nothing, can you? Yeah, and then that's going on to our next point. So we're talking now. We're talking that how can all this world come from nothing? Because that's what the atheists believe, don't they? That this world has what because some people actually believe that the universe had no beginning as well. So it's, sometimes people say that it's always been there or something like that. But we'll put that onto the side. But the people who believe that there's a starting point to the universe, that it's come from nothing. So how can it come from nothing? It can't, can it?
Can't.
Yeah. So so this is what they would say to that. So they would say who created God? Wouldn't they say that?
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, they wouldn't they? So now I'm going to ask you that question. I'm going to ask you that question now. So we've established that from this complexity of this universe and everything that's in it, yeah, how can there be no designer, no creator, and actually like that there had to be a starting point, didn't there? And nothing, can't something appear from nothing? So we established now that there is definitely a creator. So if they come up to you and say, who created the creator then? What could you say to that?
Allah has no beginning, no end.
Yeah, you could say Allah has no beginning, no end. What else?
He did the oneness of God, like there's no other God to be able to make him.
Kind of like that, you can. If you just think about it, think about it. If I'm trying to make this like in a simple way. So like army. So let's say there's an army, yeah, and they say, we need to shoot this missile or something like that, yeah. And there's how many commanders, and they have to give the order, don't they? Yeah. So the first has to go to the next one, then the next one, and there has to be one starting point, hasn't there?
Yeah.
There has to be one person that says yes, fire that. Yeah, or they're gonna carry on going. I kind of like put it in that imagery, just to think about it. That if we have to go by that, who's the creator of that creator? Who created the first creator that created us? If you understand that, but who created that one? Who created that one? There has to be one starting point for this whole thing to start, hasn't it? There has to be one person that was never created, and he will never be destroyed, and he was always there, and he will always be there. That he has to be that one that actually gave the order to this universe. if you understand what that means. So these are just a few points, so the Quran and the complexity of this universe, how we can like prove the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Misbah, you've got the next thing, so can we start Misbah off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
3. Basis for life. The way we live our lives is tremendously affected by whether we believe in a God or not. A person who does not believe in God would base his life on material and worldly benefits only. He would see no benefit in doing good deeds, as he would have no belief in the hereafter. The outlook on life for such a person would be completely different from one who believes in God and consequently believes in the life after this world. To be able to plan our life in the best and most fruitful way possible, we need to first ask whether there's a God or not. Once we have answered the question, we can base our actions accordingly. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Thank you, Misbah. So Misbah, what was Misbah talking about there?
That like to be able to get all the benefits, and like you need to be able to have like a good life, you need to have answered the question of why is there a God?
Yeah, that's a really good point, Hossein.
And like you have to research more to find out more. You need to keep on finding out more. So you'll finally you need to find out information so you can put it together and know.
I understand what you're saying there. So thank you, Misbah, for that. So what and we're gonna go on more and more about that as well. So one thing that people might come up to you to say after all these questions, that say that we're losing out. People say, oh, you believe in God, you're going to lose out on all these things. You're Muslim, you're going to lose out on eating you're eating bacon or eating stuff like that, drinking like alcohol and stuff like that. That's what people sometimes they say, don't they? Yeah. So there's like these 2 points now, that if God exists and if God doesn't exist. So if God exists, would it be worse for who the believers in God or the non-believers in God?
Non-believers.
Yeah. So and if God doesn't exist, who would it be worse for, the non-believers of God or the believers of God?
Believers.
Yeah. So in the same two scenarios, if God exists and if God still doesn't exist, if God even doesn't exist, it'll be still beneficial for the believers in God. Why would it be beneficial for the believers in God even if God doesn't exist?
Because they still live their life, like.
Yeah, and see the thing
They
is,
haven't done anything wrong.
and see, the really nice thing about the religion of Islam, it teaches you how to live longer, doesn't it? Yeah, it teaches you how to have this kind of nice life without all these temptations, without all of these other things like alcohol and stuff like that, without drugs and that. So it helps us keep our life longer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it and in either way, it's worse for the disbelievers in God as well.
Yeah.
Because if there's nothing, if there's no God, then they've wasted their life, and they've done all this stuff. They have a shorter life as well, yeah. And then at the end, there's nothing. At the end, there's just nothing. So they've lived for a couple of years, they've died, and then there's nothing. So it actually is worse. And then if there is a God, how would it be worse for them as well?
Because they go to hell.
Yeah, they go to hell. There's a punishment for them as well, isn't there? So there's this even benefit of believing in God as well, isn't there? There's this benefit for us believing in God as well, even though there is a God as well. So this is a really important thing. So we've gone over how I'm going to ask you guys what have we gone over now. So we've gone over.
Hang on.
Why you should believe God exists.
Yeah. So what were the two proofs for that?
What the 2 points?
Yeah, that we talked about.
One One about
how the miracle of God caused Prophet Musa to go.
Yeah, we talked about the Quran as that we could use that as well to prove the existence of God, and what else?
How everything needs a creator, but there needs to be
Yeah.
some
And there's other points, isn't there, as well? Also,
Yeah.
there's other points as well. So, what have we been talking about now? We've been going through the on the iPad. We've been going through the points of what were the points?
There was one point about it was a scenario of like how like if you go to someone's house and you take all the benefits, but you don't say thank you.
Yeah, we're going through the points now of why is it important to ask the question that does God exist? Yes, so that's why. So Misbah, you've got the next thing as well. So can we start Misbah with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
Avoid possible harm. Whenever we are warned about something, we immediately take heed and find out about the possibility of danger. For example, when there is a scare of particular disease in a country and the doctors warn that many people may die from it, the people of that country at once take heed. Most people would take necessary precautions after finding out if they were in danger of falling sick from that disease. This is because it is inherent in the human being to save himself from possible danger. Many prophets have come to mankind to warn them about disbelief, the punishment awaiting those who reject faith in God. It is our duty as people who have been warned to at least study these warnings and find out if they were true or not. We have been warned of punishment in the life hereafter, of hell and the tortures awaiting the rejectors of faith. Common sense dictates that we should pay heed to these warnings and ask questions about them. It would be foolish to ignore the warnings and then perhaps find out when it is too late that they were actually true. This would bring great harm upon us. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Thank you, Misbah. So what was Misbah talking about there?
That when a person finds out in their country there's a disease, that people take heed, and that's what people and they've been warned about it. People take heed, but and when we have prophets and they've warned us about the life in the hereafter, they should at least look up to see if that's true or not.
Yeah, that's right. So see, this is a thing that she's showing that we've actually talked about as well. She's saying if there has been if there's been this important stuff, this news of an outbreak, that we would want to stay away from the outbreak and try to find out how we can as well. So it'll be a really bad thing that if God does exist and then He's given down these rules, and then you don't believe in God, and you don't try to find out why some people believe in God as well.
Yeah.
Yes, and it will be really bad for you, wouldn't it? Because then if after and there is a God, and then what will happen to you?
You'll get punished.
Yeah, you'll get punished as well. So so what are some other points that you can talk about this as well? Do you understand? What are some other points? So Miss was talking about how if there's been a book and rules been given down, and then if they don't actually believe, and then after them there'll be this bad punishment, wouldn't there? Yeah. So what else could you say on that? If do you understand?
That there's been prophets that warned us too.
Yeah. Also, you can say about that. That's a really good point as well. That there has been prophets that has come down. So thank you, Miss. And they've warned us as well. What does Allah say in the Quran? That there
have been 124,000 prophets to warn us about the punishment of the hereafter.
not exactly what I was talking about.
They teach us.
The teachers, what else?
They send down the rules from Allah.
About the earth. What's he talks about? There's different nations on the earth, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was the Prophet was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about prophets and nations that he has
Sent
down and prophets in different places where
he has sent prophets to all places of the earth. So there has been a prophet sent to all nations, and this is the thing that the prophet has come prophets have come to warn us as well, and also about this, and they've tried to show you the way, and you haven't actually taken that heed. And that's one really good point as well from you, Misbah. So Mohsin, you've got the next thing, so can we start Mohsin off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
Human beings can know about God through two different ways. One, the inner way. Two, the outer way. The inner way is from within the human being life, through himself, through his own instinct. The outer way is by looking at the world around him and exploring the signs present around him. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Thank you, Mohsin, and thank you for that. So what was Mohsin talking about there?
That there's two ways of learning.
How?
Knowing about
Knowing about what? Go on.
The inner way and the outer way.
Yeah, the inner way and the outer way, and we're going to be talking more about like this, especially in the next in the next few shows. We're going to be talking about this inner way and this outer way of learning about the existence of God, what does it mean by this inner way and this outer way?
Like so like there's two ways of learning it. Like
the inner way is when the person is being himself and using his own instinct.
Yeah, that's really one good point of how the inner way could be. So what about the outer way?
Outer way is like if it's like it's researching about it.
Researching, that's really that's another one good point. So the outer way could be about the proof of design that we were talking about as well. Yeah. So what is this proof of design? That? Come on. We talked about this, the proof of design. That remember about the earth and
the earth and the
prophets
not the prophets.
The creator.
Yeah, about the creator as well.
Does it always have to be one main person you start all off?
Not the design proof of how everything has had a creator,
and
hasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what else?
And everything has a starting point.
No, exactly. So we'll talk about this design point now. That everything has had a creator as well, and all this complexity of the whole universe. How can they say that there hasn't been a creator that has actually created this universe as well? And how can something come from nothing? That's how this design proof is as well. So that's how we've actually have been talking about how we've actually talked about this. So what have we gone through over today?
Why is it important to know why there's God?
Yeah. Okay. So stop there. Okay. So now what do you say? Why
it's important?
Yeah.
To
So so why is it? So we're gonna go through what and then answer them. So why is it important?
It's important to know that there's a God. Otherwise, if you don't know like there's a God, and then if you like just like sort of waste on life, then at then like bad's gonna happen.
Yes. So Misbah.
Because for example, if there was like a host to like a party,
Yeah.
and you ever thanked them about and you didn't know who he was, and you never like bothered to find out and thank him for it. It was just being like ignorant and
Yeah.
So like if you don't know, if you just not bother of finding out who like learning like knowing why we got here, it's just being like ignorant and don't care.
Yeah, that's right. So this why is it important to know to ask about the existence of God is that Misbah's point as well, and if he's actually sent down any book, any guidance for us, and we're not following it, what would happen? That we would get
punished.
Yes. So saying, what was the other thing that we talked about today?
Like when people ask you, why do you believe there's a God? Why do you believe there's a God? You know why there is a God.
Yeah, you know why there is a God, and what was the other? What was the out of the other points as well? The 2 points that we talked about today. What were they?
There's a scenario about what Misbah said, and one other point.
No, not the one Misbah said. Misbah was talking about that. Why is it important to ask for the existence of God? Yeah, and now we're on to the second one. Is that if anyone comes up to you, asks you, what could be the 2 arguments that you could say? The Quran
and
there needs to be one starting point.
The Quran and the
in all nations.
not the Prophet one. The Quran has come, and
There needs to be a main starting point, so there needs to be something.
yeah, and the design argument. Yeah, you can say that of how there has to that nothing can that something can't come from nothing, and there must have been someone who created that as well. And what was the last bit that we mentioned as well? Just the last bit now.
The 2 points about
2 points about the inner and outer point, and the inner point is that your instinct inside yourself as well, and the outer point is how we can look at the whole world as well, and we can find out about these points as well. So next week we're going to be talking about, I think we're going to be only talking about the inner point, and then the outer point is I think there's a lot of parts to that as well. So we're going to be talking I think it goes up to 3 parts. So we might have to do 3 shows on the outer point as well, and 1 show I think on the inner point as well. So have you learned a lot today?
Yeah.
Yes. So I hope people at home as well has learned a lot today. So but before we finish, can we have a salawat in honor of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajum. The second in honor of our holy first Imam Ali alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajum. And third with our loudest voices in honor of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asri wal Zaman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajum. And thank you people at home for listening, and I hope you learned a lot today, and we're going to see you next week talking more about these inner and outer points, about the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we'll see you next week, same time, same place on Hidayat TV. But until then, good Hafiz.